Hi guys, it's Katie and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing some different yarn types and what those are best used for making. So if you guys are interested in seeing more craft, crochet, or business videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the post notification bell. That way you know every single time I upload a brand new video. And with that, let's just get started. So within this video, I'm just going to be talking about the different yarns and what different yarns are made of, not necessarily like the different weights and all of that stuff. If you guys do want a video on the different yarn weights, I can do that as well. Just let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. But this video is just going to be the different like wool, alpaca, acrylic, all of that, and what those are best used for. And I am using an article for this because I want to make sure that I get the information correct. So I will be linking the article in the description box as well for you guys, and I also have some more information on some other asked questions on like what's the softest yarn to use, what's the best yarn to use for this situation. That type of stuff is also included in this article. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out in the description box. So with that, let's get into this. So first, I'm going to start out with your average acrylic yarn. So this is an example that I have of an acrylic yarn. This is 100% acrylic, and this is a Red Heart Super Saver, a pretty normal brand that you can find almost anywhere. So this yarn is 100% acrylic, and when you go to places like Walmart and Michael's, Joann's, this is the main type of yarn that you're seeing, whether you look at the packaging or not. More than likely, the main type of yarn that you're seeing is acrylic yarn. At least from my experience, it's probably the most common type of yarn. So as far as what to make with acrylic yarns, you can make a lot of things. As you can see on this package, they have a scarf shown. You can make clothing, pretty much anything out of acrylic yarn. And now there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages to acrylic yarn. I would just suggest doing your own research on the type of yarn you want to use, but this is probably the most readily available type yarn you could find, I would say. But yeah, that is it for acrylic yarn. So the second type of yarn that is also really common when you're at Walmart or any sort of place that sells yarn is 100% cotton yarn. So this is one of my favorite brands that is not too expensive. This is the Mainstays, which is Walmart's brand, 100% cotton yarn. So as far as the texture of cotton yarn, some can be really soft and some can be a little bit more rough. In my experience, the Mainstays is more of a softer cotton yarn, which is one of the main reasons I like it. And 100% cotton a lot of times is used for dishcloths or washcloth, kind of things that you would be washing really often. So I even use 100% cotton a lot for clothing as well, especially if you're going to put it in the washing machine with everything else. In my experience, it just works out better. Now as far as clothing, I do go with cotton yarns that are more softer, and then for dishcloths or washcloths, I will tend to gravitate towards something like peaches and cream or one of those other types of cotton yarns that is a little more rough because it works well for scrubbing things. I really hope you can't hear that, but it's raining. But again, I meant to make this statement at the beginning, but I forgot. Yarn is all up to your preference, what you like to work with and all of that. So just because I'm saying it's normally used to make this does not mean you have to use this specific thing to make this item. You can pretty much use whatever you'd like. Just know that the examples I'm giving are generally what people normally use these yarns for. The next type of yarn that I'm going to share is 100% wool yarn. Now, this is my first ball of 100% wool yarn, I think. I'm pretty sure the texture of wool yarn is quite different, and I'd say it's a little more scratchy, which when you think of like sweaters and stuff, you do think of them being a little more scratchy. And when they are scratchy like that, they're normally made out of wool. So wool is used for, like I said, sweaters, hats, gloves, and scarves normally, because it is a thicker material and it's used to kind of keep you warm. So that's why it's normally used for projects like that. Now, I personally, like I said, this is my first ball of 100% wool yarn, so I can't really speak on how easy it is to use or anything like that, but this is a type of yarn that a lot of people like or dislike. So I would just suggest, if you're trying it out, get a small thing of it like this. This came from Amazon, and you can just try out 100% wool yarn and see if you like it, and then if you don't, you can stick to cotton or acrylic or one of the other types we're going to discuss. And I did want to mention as well that all of the yarns that I'm showing here in this video, I will link in the description box for you guys, because these are just my examples, and of course there are tons and tons and tons of other yarn brands and places that sell other types of yarns that fall under these categories, but these are just the examples that I have to show you guys of the different types. Some of the types of yarn I don't even have in my possession, or I've never even tried before, so when we get to those, I'll just pop a picture of them up on the screen. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Just know that the yarns I'm showing you, if you like them, I will put them in the description box so you can buy them if you would like. So the next is Alpaca Yarn, which I do think I have a ball of this, but it's kind of shoved in one of my bins somewhere, and I did not feel like going through everything to find it. Alpaca yarn is known for being really cozy and soft, and from Alpaca Yarn that I have felt in stores, and the one that I do have, I can attest to that, and it has more of a luxurious feel to it. So a lot of people use it for clothing or maybe blankets, something that will be up against your skin, so it feels really nice to have on you. So again, just another nice type of yarn that a lot of people really like, and it is another yarn that is kind of a blend, which we're going to talk about blends a little bit towards the end, but just know that a lot of yarns are also not 100%. Like, you'll get 100% cotton and 100% acrylic, 100% wool, but as far as some of the other ones, it'll be like 90% acrylic, 10% something else, you know. So a lot of times it is blends of different types of fibers as well. So next we have bamboo yarn, which again, I don't have bamboo yarn. I've actually never even tried it or really heard of it before I was doing research for this video. But just like you would think, bamboo yarn comes from bamboo the plant, and it is known to be a silky, smooth feeling yarn and great for summer and spring projects, which makes sense in my head because a lot of times you don't want something that's super thick for something like a tank top or summer clothing, and something that's soft and silky will work really well for something like that. So that is what bamboo yarn is normally used for. Okay, so next we have fabric slash t-shirt yarns, and these yarns are made from fabric. So the texture of it pretty much depends on the fabric that it's made from, so everyone is going to be pretty different. But as the name t-shirt yarn suggests, you can use it to make t-shirts. Next type is cotton threads, which this is a very, very thin yarn, and again made out of cotton, and this yarn is normally used for lace projects or filet crochet. But the final sort of yarn texture that we're going to talk about is natural slash acrylic mixes, which this is an acrylic mix example that I have. This one is 97% acrylic and 3% other fibers. So it doesn't give you specifically what the other ones are, but this one does have a different texture from your average acrylic. It does feel pretty similar to the average acrylic, but it has some other fibers blended into it. But that's probably the most common thing, is finding blends. If it's not acrylic or cotton, it's more than likely a blend. I would guess, at least from my experiences from stores around me and everything, especially if you're talking about like Walmart or Michael's or something like that. If you go to a local yarn shop, a lot of times they do have more options for like wool and alpaca and stuff like that. Or like a really big Joann's will have a lot of wool and alpaca options. But as far as like smaller stores or stores that are not just yarn, will not have as many options. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm sorry if I was a little rambly. I felt like I kind of was, but hopefully I'll be able to edit some of that out. But hopefully this all made sense to you and hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more craft, crochet, or business videos from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the post notification bell. That way you know every single time I upload a brand new video. If you guys do want to see more from me, you can check out my social medias, more videos of mine, my blog, my podcast, or my Etsy shop. All of that is always included in the description box down below for you guys. And again, the yarns that I showed in this video and the article that I used to find this information will be included in the description box. And if you did enjoy this video and you'd like to help me out, you can always share this video with a friend. And with all of that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!